Join us now from the 17th tee. Please welcome resident professional of the X's and Bros Country Club, our good friend Justin Kruse. Oh, what a shot by Kruse. Sticks it within 5 feet. Mr. Kruse, how are you, sir? Good morning to you, partner.
I'm doing wonderful, Anthony. How are you, my friend?
I mean, does it not feel like I'm prepared to be there at Augusta?
I think you could take your talents down there to Augusta National and you would flourish.
I'm not eating a pimento cheese sandwich, though.
Oh, come on. They're delicious.
Ugh.
You got to adapt.
You got to overcome and adapt. I love that. Eat the cheese. Eat the cheese on the sandwich. So, Justin, I don't know if you know about this, if this is happening. Dan just sprung this on me in the last break. He said, I want to play something for you and for Kruse, and I want to see and get your guys' thoughts on this. We're going to do like a little round table. So, Dan, if you're ready over there, you could fire away, and we'll take a listen.
Well, now my computer's going to freeze up, so it might take another 10 seconds for this video to play.
Well, you tell us when you're ready. Then
I mean, it's just sitting here buffering. Here we go.
Substrucker, 28 years old from Austria, is going to hit from the pine straw on hole 1. He took stroke 2, and the ball traveled 162 yards into the greenside bunker.
Absolutely not. I mean, what are we listen to the wingman? Like, what is that? To get that out of here.
That's IBM Watson doing the AI play-by-play on the Masters app.
Did you know they were doing this on the Masters app?
I did know this. I think it was Sepp Straka was maybe the sample, or Bert Wiesberger or someone along those lines. But yes, I saw that a couple days ago. It's super creepy and alarming. But hey, I've said it before, Anthony, the Masters has the best sports app, the best platform via their website of any event, any golf event, any sporting event, bar none. I don't think it's debatable. If AI is their next big venture and they think it helps them in some obscure way, I don't know. It sounds really weird, but hey, it delivered informative information.
Yeah, I don't know about any of this. It makes me real uncomfortable. I watched a guy touch a robot in the UK, went to go touch the iRobot's nose, and the thing like kind of backed up and looked at him squirrely, and I'm like, nope, this is too far. This is too far. You know what works on a robot? 12 gauge. Just right in the wiring and be done with it. Now, I do have to ask you about Tiger Woods and this change that is going to be taking place that some people are for and some people are against. And one of the new changes is the actual golf ball itself. Some of the players have come out to say, like, look, this is one of the very unique things about professional golf and amateur golf is the fact that we can all kind of, like, you're not going to be able to get exactly the same equipment, but you can get stuff that's similar, but we can all play the same ball. So when you see a Titleist Pro V1 ad, for example, if that's the ball I play, that's the ball that you can play too. I never really thought about it like that. I just didn't want to overpay for golf balls that I'm going to lose. But Tiger Woods, on the other hand, he's taken a different approach than most of the guys and said we should have been playing with a different ball because we're running out of real estate.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I think the golf rollback specifically to a pro ball, if you call it that, does have some merit. There's some courses, Marion, for example, outside of Philadelphia that Justin Rose won a U.S. Open, but that's not a long golf course, and they don't have the ability to lengthen the golf course. And it'd be a shame if, for whatever reason, Marion wasn't included in the future U.S. Open Rota. Now, it is, in the interim. I will say this, though. None of the touring pros that you see on television play the Pro V1 or the Pro V1X as you and I could buy it on the shelves. They are playing a different version of that golf ball. If you ever see a pro open up like a box of golf balls, they're usually in an unmarked white box that might say Titleist, and it's a ball that's specifically for them. So, yes.
Whoa, wait a minute now. You mean to tell me that me and Tiger haven't been playing the same ball?
Well, Tiger plays a Bridgestone, so if you're playing a Bridgestone, you're playing the same brand of ball, and that's about it. Justin Thomas is playing a Pro V1 of some form. It probably spins less than the Pro V1 that we use because they generate so much club head speed. They don't need the assist of the ball. But yeah, they're not playing the off the rack ball available at your local Golf Galaxy or Nevada Bob's.
That's unbelievable. See, I didn't know that. I thought that we all played the same ball. So all this shenanigans about we all play the same ball. You guys don't play the same ball to begin with. Of course, roll it back then. Yeah, I mean, how far is too far? Really, like that's what it comes down to. You know, I'm one of those people that purchased that TaylorMade Stealth, and I talked about it a lot last year because I was impressed just by how far the ball goes because I'd never really been that long of a hitter. But now this thing completely changes the game. I talked my uncle into getting one, but he doesn't get one, but his buddy does, and his buddy's like, "This is crazy." It just completely. I'm like, "Dude, it changes everything." Augusta is one of those courses that is, it really does. It has it all. It could play long as hell. It's going to play hard as hell. You know that. And I was going back to something, and I think it was you who shared this with me, Justin, and I tell everybody this, is that you could give any amateur golfer the green in regulation. They wouldn't break 90 if all they had to do was two-putt every hole.
I think that's probably largely correct, especially with tournament conditions and tournament pin positions. Now, today's going to be nice. It's going to be hot. I'm sure it's going to be reasonably firm. The weather looks really lousy the next few days. Saturday, it's going to be nicer up here in the greater Michigan area than it is down in Augusta, Georgia on Saturday. So it'll be interesting to see how the weather plays. But the average player, your average, 10 to 15 handicap, if you gave him a 40-footer at Augusta National, there's probably 0% chance that he is getting around in, less than a
putt average. Preach on it, Kruse. Preach. When Jason Bateman was out there a few weeks ago saying he's a 3 handicap. No, you're not. Go out there and play some real courses.
Well, you want to know another fun Augusta fact for you is when you do play down there, there's only 2 sets of tees. There's the Masters tees, and then there's the member tees. And the member tees actually play fairly short. So some folks that I know that have had the privilege of playing down there, not a big deal. They say that, hey, you're playing from about, 63 to 6,400 yards.
That's all you need. Kruse, will you tell these goofballs out here, that's all you need. 6,400 should be like, you don't need to go past that. We're not joining any tour unless you're qualifying or you're trying to play competitively somewhere. You don't need to play 68, 69, 7,500 yards. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous. Just scoot up. Everybody, whatever tees you think you should be playing, move up a set. And let's keep the game moving. That's what I'm here for. Who do you like this week at Augusta, Mr. Kruse?
Well, I think there's a lot of – it's the one course and the one event where you have so much history, so much, especially now, data that you can look at, analyze, strokes gained approach, strokes gained off the tee. I think it's hard to look at this field and deviate much from the top 3 to 6 players. Guys that I personally like, I expect Scheffler to play very well again. He's played well for well over a year. He's actually statistically playing better going into the event this year from a strokes gained perspective than he was last year. Rory, you expect to play well. My boy, Jon Rahm, he withdraws from one event, the Players, because he's sick. He doesn't make it out of match play pod. And at Bay Hill, he finished 30th. And all of a sudden, people are treating him like he's some chop like Bellino. And it's unjust. The guy's won 3 out of his last 9 events, and no one's talking about my guy Rahm.
Did you just call me a chop?
Well, you are a chop.
Pork chop, I'll tell you that much. Hey, look, Jon Rahm, by the way, plus 850 to win this. Rory plus 650, tied with Scotty Scheffler for the best odds. And then things drop a little bit. You got Patrick Cantlay in there, plus 1,600, along with Jordan Spieth. Tony Finau, plus 2,000. But there are some, there's one real, interesting. Scheffler.
Yeah.
3,000
plus 3,000 for doing it for my homies. Scheffler and McIlroy to make the top 5 plus 150. That doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, I think what you see in this event, the odds are out so far in advance that, Max Homa was readily available in January and February at 40, 50 to 1. And now this week you just see massive suppression at the top where Scheffler and Rory and Rahm all started out in that plus 850, 9-1 range, and now you're seeing them all the way down at 650. I mean, today, before the action starts, if I was going to place a bet, I'd look at a Justin Thomas at 25-1, a Morikawa that's available about 28-1. I've always said, Anthony, people of our father's generation believe that the Masters is a putting contest because of guys like Ben Crenshaw and players like that in the 80s. In reality, it is a ball strikers contest. The putting is, the greens are so undulated and so challenging that you don't see 25-footers made like you do at other courses. It is absolutely a ball strikers course. And you look at guys like Sergio, Adam Scott, Hideki Matsuyama, even a guy like Corey Connors, who's had 3 straight top 10s at Augusta. He's one of the worst players in terms of putting statistically on the PGA Tour, but he contends and plays well there. So I think if you look at a Justin Thomas or a Morikawa, both struggle with their putting, but both are premier ball strikers. And if you're looking to place a guy or place a bet with some guys with some value today that have major pedigree, I think to grab someone like that, you know, a greater to 25-1 isn't a bad bet. And in terms of Homa, I love Max Homa. He's a proven winner. He's got great win equity. You know, some of these guys you bet on and they're in contention, but they never win. I mean, if you're trying to pick a winner, it's nice to pick someone that's won golf tournaments in the last year and a half, and Homa's done that. The concern for me is he's never even played reasonably well in a major championship. And maybe that turns this week. I'd love to see it. I think he's a very likable guy, but at some point you are what your resume says you are.
Ooh, you are what the back of your card says. If you're on DraftKings right now and you want to take a gander, you could literally, they have a tab specifically for the Masters. You could do all kinds of things. You could bet specifically on Tiger Woods in a plethora of different options. I'm talking about bogey-free round, birdies in round 1, over under 3.5. I mean, smash the over. Where's my sledgehammer at? You can do different hole scores, hole winners, golfer parlays, matchups. It's all right there. And of course, the tournament props, make or miss. I mean, the options, the menu, if you will, if you want to get in on some of this action over at DraftKings, is extensive. I'll put it that way. Have we been making, Justin? Have we been making too much or too little out of the live guys being there this year? Like, can I be honest with you? It's good that Brooks Koepka is there. Brooks Koepka is not going to change the Masters for me, whether he's at Augusta this week or on Mars. You know, it's the Masters. Like, no man is bigger than that tournament. Like, it's just the tournament, the course itself, the history, the tradition. That's why I'm tuned in. Even, I don't care if the Live Tour did buy 400 acres just north of where Augusta's at, and they're planning their own. It's not the same. It doesn't matter. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I think what we've seen this week with the at least general camaraderie that's shown amongst the players and guys on TV handshaking each other and guys diffusing any dramas. The players, truthfully, this week especially, don't care. As you said, the event is bigger than the PGA Tour. It's bigger than Live. As Scotty Scheffler said, 100 years from now, no one's going to remember who he is. And who's to say in 5 years or 10 years, no one's going to remember what Live Golf was. I'm not saying that's necessarily true, but the tournament is so much bigger than the players, than the individual storylines. It's about the event, and it's the one event that truly carries that weight. And I think the players understand, from a respect of the club, respect of the event, they're not going to overshadow the event with any petty drama. And that's why, as Chairman Fred Ridley said, that's why Greg Norman wasn't invited. He didn't want anyone to overshadow their event. And not to mention, Norman's only been to 2 of the last 10 Masters. So he clearly wasn't that interested in going before. Why are you that interested today? But, in terms of the Live guys, it's going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of pressure on certain players to play well strictly because they're not getting official world golf ranking points. And some of these guys, like a Koepka or like a Patrick Reed, they're going to start losing their exemptions into major championships because their 5-year period is quickly coming upon them. So they will need good finishes to be in the upcoming majors. And I think that's where the real pressure lies. These guys are still great players. Koepka, DJ, Cam Smith, those guys are still great players. The other guys that went to live, yeah, they went for the money. They went because they're towards the end of their career. I think we all know that. But these guys can still play. Now, is their knife as sharp as it would be had they played the Players' Championship or Riviera or Bay Hill? I tend to believe it's not. And I think that's where the rubber really meets the road come Sunday, when you're playing a golf course that's going to be that demanding, that's going to demand that much of you. And last week they were playing at Orange County National in Orlando, Florida.
Wow. When the rubber meets the road, would your knife have been as sharp? Mr. Kruse coming at us with all kinds of different sayings, slogans. I like this. By the way, Justin, when you think about what I watched that Full Swing on Netflix. Did you watch it?
I did.
Okay. Did it change your perception of Brooks Koepka?
I always knew Brooks was kind of a fake tough guy. You know, he always came out and said, hey, I'm a football player playing golf, and I'm an athlete, and I'm a tough guy. And I think it showed that Brooks, and I was a Brooks fan for a very long time. I kind of wavered on that a little bit. But I think the Full Swing on Netflix showed that Brooks got punched in the mouth a little bit because of injuries, because of poor form, and frankly, because of guys like Scotty Scheffler and Rahm and Rory kicking his butt. And I think he showed a vulnerability, which is good, but I also think he showed that he's not the macho tough guy that he tried to project for a long time.
Dude, softer than a roll of Charmin. I'd never seen anything like it. Last one here for you. Who's your pick? Who wins this weekend?
I mean, I hope that, Rory or Rahm, I think those would be great stories. Like I said, if I was going to bet today, I'd bet probably Thomas or Morikawa, but my actual pick to win he's won his last 3 times the tournaments ended on Easter Sunday. I think there's some good karma there in that regard. He's got a child. I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth as the winner of the Masters this year in 2023.
He's got a child. Jesus was a child one time. It is Easter Sunday. He is Justin Kruse. Mr. Kruse, as always, partner, thank you so much for your time, my man. We greatly appreciate you.
Hey, buddy, it's a pleasure. We haven't had a major since July. I always feel like summer's coming when we do this. Golf in the Midwest is as good as it gets here in the next few months. So sit back, enjoy the Masters, enjoy their wonderful app, some artificial intelligence coming right at you. You're in great shape today, Bellino.
There he goes, Justin Kruse. I'm going to take him to Tullymore.